Your Excellencies, esteemed business leaders, dear hosts and organizers, I know that Robert is not with us today, but I would like to thank our media group for consistently inviting UNICEF to be part of this Foresight event and to present the perspective of children every year. We have been participating since the very beginning, more than a decade ago. And it makes sense to invite UNICEF. As we've heard this morning, the vision of the leaders nowadays, the politicians, the diplomats, the vision of the adults, the vision of people who are building the world today. This same world that our children are going to live in. And we should always remind us that the measures and the steps that we are taking today is going to shape the future for our children. So let's reflect now what kind of future we are shaping for children. Will it be one full of opportunity, health and security, or one overshadowed by inequality, crisis, and broken systems? For the 20th of November, the World Children's Day, UNICEF issued a report named The State of World's Children 2024, and it identified 3 critical global megatrends that will profoundly shape the childhood up to 2050. Demographic shifts, climate crisis, and the rise of frontier technologies. These trends present both remarkable opportunities, but also challenges. So let's look what are the national, for Serbia, national dimensions of these global megatrends. The demographic transition, where fewer children will be born globally and the population is aging, create both opportunities and challenges and responsibilities. While some regions may benefit from demographic dividends, Serbia is struggling with its own challenges. Serbia has a population of 6.65 million, out of which only 17% are children from 0 to 17. A combination of low fertility rates and high outmigration has made Serbia one of the fastest depopulating countries in the world. The labor outflow through migration is threatening Serbia's overall economic growth and is particularly weakening some sectors like health sector or the service sector. For Serbia, investing in every child is not just a moral imperative, it is a necessity. Without these investments, without a guarantee that every one child will have an access to health, education and social protection services, we are losing the human capital needed to sustain the Serbian economic growth and prosperity, something that we've heard about this morning. Meanwhile, climate change is no longer a future threat, it is a crisis today. Globally, nearly half of the children of the world live in areas of climate hazards. In Serbia, floods, heat waves, environmental degradation, all of this has a major impact on communities, with children often being the most affected. Because children are uniquely vulnerable in these situations. And climate actions is not just preserving the planet. It is about protecting children and supporting them to thrive. That's why the children's perspective should be integrated into all climate policies, including NDC 3.0. And then there is technology, artificial intelligence, neurotechnologies, renewable energy, the digital tools, all of them hold incredible promise. This innovation could revolutionize education, healthcare, economic perspectives for children in the future. Every child, whether in the heart of Belgrade or at the most remote village, must have access to these achievements. Technologies must be a tool of inclusion, not a driver of inequalities. And yet, we should not turn a blind eye also in the possibility of misuse. The timely regulation of emerging technologies should have the child's perspective at its heart. And with its unique positioning as a sub-regional leader in digital innovations, Serbia is well positioned to lead in this regard. Ladies and gentlemen, while shaping our actions to respond to these three mega trends, we must not forget one fundamental truth. Child rights are not optional. They are non-negotiable. All children in the world, every one child of Serbia, has the right to quality education, to live free of violence, to access health care, and to grow up in a safe and clean environment. These rights are not privileges for a few. These are universal entitlements for all. Through ratifying the Convention on the Rights of the Child, Serbia committed to ensure them, and the next year, the preparation for the hearing of the Serbian report in front of the Committee on the Rights of the Child will take place, and it is scheduled for January 2026. So Serbia still has some time for some brave steps. In fact, Serbia already has made significant strides to advance on ensuring child rights in many areas. Early childhood development, inclusive education, bridging digital divide, psychological well-being, just to name some of these areas. Yet, we know that some gaps still persist. Effective access to essential services in health, nutrition, education, and protection remains limited for low-income children, for children living in rural areas, children with disabilities, and particularly Roma children. This disparity is robbing children of opportunities. These disparities are robbing Serbia of a strong human capital. This is where we should focus our efforts, because a healthy, educated and empowered child today becomes the skilled worker, the compassionate leader, and the inspired thinker of tomorrow. Human capital is not built overnight, and it begins with every policy that protects children's access to services. And our responsibility does not end with creating access to services. It extends to safeguarding all children's rights, their voices, their freedom of expression and association, their right to assembly. These rights, enshrined in the Convention on the Rights of the Child, are the foundation of a just society, a society built on the sense of belonging and the personal responsibility to contribute to the community's prosperity. Serbia's path forward is clear. Invest in children now to secure a better future for all. And future is not something we await, future is something that we build together. So let's us honor the voices of children by acting decisively today.